Oh, love it. Now, I don't know how things are usually done around here. I've listened to one or two of the shows, but a friend of mine has asked me to come and play. I'll be answering questions, I'll be talking general bollocks. It's what I do best. Hence the name Random F. I do not mean to offend anybody by anybody that may be said, anything that may be said, but I might do. And I'm sorry, and I apologise, because sometimes it just goes on by itself, the mind switches off and the mouth takes over. There's so many different voices I hear in my head, it's a bit crowded. But don't get me wrong, I've had some great conversations. But now, I'm actually recording myself having these conversations, sat here talking to myself. And it's something that I like doing, to be honest, because it's like shoving a video camera into somebody's face and going, act natural. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm sorry, somebody does full facial focus on a video camera and everybody turns into a waxwork dummy. Action shots. Don't let anybody know that you're taking the shot. Don't let anybody know that you clickety click on a camera. You get some of the best shots that way. Look at you being framed. Harry Hill. Sorry. Dodgy English programs, but you Yanks might know pets do the funniest things, blah de blah de blah. There's 101. Be natural. When you know that you're being recorded and you're not going to be the only one listening to your voice, yeah, this might take me a bit of a while to get used to that. But anyway, back to where we were. So yeah, I'm based in Gloucester, England, UK, alright. Shithole really, but lived here for most of my life and I'm not going anywhere now. But then it's the same as anywhere you live. You don't like living where you live, but then you wouldn't really want to live anywhere else because it's not home. But Dave's given me a couple of questions to see if I can cover them. Subjects that I can quite happily cover. PC issues, not a problem. Laptop, console issues, even the dreaded 3 red lights of death. Yeah, we can sort that. Well, I can tell you how to sort it. Doesn't mean that you have the know-how, time and patience to be able to do it. Because it can be a bit fiddly sometimes, but general guidelines ish. But the first one I've got is an Xbox 360 related question. This is from Mark, based in London. So I have an Xbox and I'm looking to play games from the hard disk instead of the disk. What would you guys recommend on how to go about this? It's not an easy one to answer, this one, Mark, because yes, it can be done. But you need to have certain factors in place to be able to make it feasible. Example 1, you need an original fat Xbox, preferably unopened from the first 2 years of manufacturing. Because not only does it need to be old, it needs to be below dashboard number 1.9. Now, you're not likely to find boxes that old that still work, never mind finding it without ever taking a system update or a dash update. So you're going to be a bit tight pushed. I'm not saying they're not out there, but a lot of the older boxes are being sold on eBay because they don't work, because they've tried to be repaired stupid amounts of times, and yeah, it's dead. They've fried it. So, okay, you find yourself a box which has never had an update on it, and it's one of the originals. You then need to get yourself a JTAG kit. Now, you can make these yourself. You can purchase them, but it's not easy. It's not something that you can work out if you press enough buttons. You need time, you need effort, you need a little bit of computer knowledge before you even think about doing it. And should you be able to accomplish this? Yeah. Play games from your hard drive. Highly frowned upon by Microsoft, because they don't want you doing that. They want you to buy the games, not just go down to your local rental store, rent it and install it. So what they have done, Microsoft, to combat this, it's all sorted. But you can't, if you do get it done, you cannot go on Xbox Live. Your console will, if you try it, your console and profile will get instantly banned from Xbox Live. I say instantly, almost definitely within 10 minutes of you going online. The average time's about 5 seconds. So there we go. Not worth it, to be honest, mate. More hassle than it's worth. And until such a time as they manage to open up the Xboxes like they did the original Xbox, so you could install Linux, you could do this, that and the other, you're not going to be able to do it. And to be fair, that's why it needs to be one of the original Xboxes below 1.9 dashboard, because Microsoft have put fail safes in. The dashboard won't allow it to happen now. So yeah, good luck with that. But Microsoft and Xbox Live, and I gripe about anything and everyone. I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, I just bitch and moan about anything and everything. But I'd like to think in a funny way. I make people think. Well, saves me doing it, I suppose, because as you can probably hear, I'm not making an awful lot of sense as it is. So the idea is, I've taken on this spot for the Gloucester location. Dave and his team's all based up in Birmingham, and he's been up there way too long. I mean, he's a Gloucester lad, born and bred, and he's now starting to sound a bit like that. And Birmingham people, they just seem to always be so whiny. Now, I've got an accent. I'm originally from Rugby in Leicestershire, which is just down the road from Birmingham. I was brought up to speak prim and proper, but since I've been down in Gloucester, I'm taught all sorts of differently, and it be because we talk proper like what we does down here. Yeah, I might do that every now and again. I'll just flip into somebody else and talk like somebody else. It'd probably be me, unless I've got the boys round, and then the boys will be joining in. But that's for another time. So we're going to be covering PC issues, console issues, music, the local talent. And before you get all excited, boys, I'm on about local bands, not the local totty. Let's be fair, it's Gloucester, there's not that much. Plus, I got myself a beautiful girlfriend, 2 beautiful kids. I'm happy. So if there's any weird noises in the background of these recordings, you know what, it's a family show, so I'm going to keep it clean, even though if I do say certain things that kids shouldn't hear, they won't understand it anyway, so they really won't know I shouldn't be saying things like that. Sophisticated comedy, yes. And that's what we're trying to have on here. I mean, you gotta have a laugh. There's no point doing anything in life if you don't enjoy it. And I'd like to think that we'll get emails. I tell you what, why not? Give me your ideas. They call me Random F. I have random thoughts. All the time. You go through what-if situations and daydreams. Great. Better than telly. I hardly ever watch the telly. I just listen to tunes and do what I do. But telly, it just sucks you in. If the telly's on in the room, I will sit and stare at the ruddy thing. I may not be watching it. I may not be listening to it. But I'm staring at it. And I'm completely ignoring everybody else in the room. And TVs do that, at least with radio or music on in the background. You just turn it down a little bit if it's too loud. It's not the centre of attention. It's a background noise. So if there is an awkward silence and nobody's got anything to say, you've still got tunes in the background. Whereas if you're watching the telly, if somebody is actually watching the telly, they've got no interest on what's being said in the room. They just want to watch the telly, and you shut the chuff up because I can't hear it. Right? Nah, you see, I can't understand women. They will talk and watch telly at the same time, and then turn round and ask you what's going on. I'm sorry, I'm not the one wanting to watch it in the first place. I'm watching your rubbish on my telly, and yeah, okay, that's a bit of a rant, but you know, they're watching their rubbish and then asking you what they missed because they were talking to you when they missed it. And then you get moaned at if you're actually listening to the telly and you don't listen to what they say. So, what did I just say? You're not listening to me, you're watching the telly. Only because I know you's going to ask me what you missed because you was yapping. Yeah, we have conversations like this. It's a great household. But I love her to bits, and she's a braver woman than me. I was living on my own for way too long. Many a years, and I couldn't put up with myself, and yet she does it no problem. And she puts up with this rubbish that comes out of my mouth. And I say rubbish, but most people have it. It's great, because I know when she's not listening anymore, she'll just switch off. Really will, just disappear and daydream. I've got 2-sentence rule. If she asks me a question and I explain it in any more than 2 sentences, that's it, she's switched off. Unless she's really interested. And so, again, most of the time, even though I start talking to somebody, most people switch off. So most of the time I'm talking to myself anyway. This should come naturally to me. So, let's go back to the PC stuff. Now I've got another question here. This is from Chris, Swansea. Hey, hello, bro. Sorry, my accents are terrible, and I don't mean them nastily. I love the Welsh people. They are great. All the time in the world. Now, Chris has got a laptop. He's got a virus that keeps coming in when he reboots. He's tried reformatting, reinstalling. Now, I'm not sure whether this is actually a virus. Is it the key? Because Microsoft have semi-started logging the disk IDs as well as the serial numbers that you need to use, or your license numbers for Windows, and so on and so forth. So, try a different disk. If this is one of them dodgy XP Vista 7 Black Edition, there's a reason why Microsoft's not selling it off the shelf. Joe Bloggs has gone in there, played with it, and there's things on there that shouldn't be on there, virus-wise. You wouldn't even know about them most of the time, but they're there. They're running in the background. So, check your license key, because if it's been used, if it is a legit copy, you've used your license key so many times, it's not going to work. You should still get your trial period though. So, check your disk. If it's not an official Microsoft copy of said operating system, it's on the disk. You want to double check, take that disk and burn it on, or not burn it, scan it, take it round to a mate's house, just get them to run it through their virus scanner. It may not pick anything up, and that's the problem with a lot of these homemade editions of Windows. There's always hidden extras. Yes, there's reasons why you buy the genuine thing. If you want problems, you go looking for problems. Unfortunately, thankfully, however you want to say it, however you want to look at it, Microsoft messed up with Vista. Let's face it. It was not what it should have been. Now, unfortunately, Windows 7 is nothing but Service Pack 3 for Windows Vista. But they decided to cash in on a much better, much superior operating system and release it as its own individual, instead of a service pack for one of the worst things they've ever made. which was Vista. If you're running XP, great, love it. Can't argue at all. Running 7 myself, and it does the job. It really does the job, and it runs nicely. I'm not saying that Linux doesn't run twice as good, but Linux is a whole nother story. I've only dabbled a little bit with Linux operating systems, so I can't pass judgment. But if you want the simple things in life and you want them done yesterday, Linux is great. You need to know a little bit about computing, not just click, click, clickety, click, click. You need to be able to use the keyboard and write a few commands every now and again. But you don't have to. You can drop it on and it'll run like Windows. It'll look a bit like Windows. But the best thing with Linux is free. You can download Linux distros. Okay, yeah, you can't use all of the Microsoft funded applications, but then it's Linux. There's 101 other free programs out there that you can use instead of Microsoft Recycle Bin, I don't know, Microsoft Defragger, Microsoft blah blah. Get it for free using Linux. Now these boys work hard, and they don't. The thing with Linux and freeware programs is there's no profit in it. They ask you to make a contribution, but otherwise it's free. If you want to make a contribution, great. Otherwise, you just piggyback off somebody else's brains. It's the beauty of it. People do it for recognition. People do it to prove that you don't have to pay a fortune to run a computer. Microsoft rules the world. Bill Gates, he's got his fingers in every single pie. Right? You've realistically got to look at 9 out of 10 PCs. I'm not on about Macs. 9 out of 10 PCs and laptops will be running a Microsoft operating system. Right? Then, of course, you've got Macs. Don't know. I've never really played with a Mac. I've never needed to, but I've been around PCs since I was just a wee boy. When the horses and carts were being dragged about, and the old mouses used to power our PCs for a little bit of cheese every day. Nah, it was never like that. They were steam powered originally. Used to be room size, but that's by the by. No, Microsoft has the monopoly on PC software. Mac is coming along and trying its best, and it's not bad. I can't pass judgment on software. As I say, I've never really had a Mac to be able to experiment, play with. I'm sure they are very good, and I've heard that in certain roles it's far superior than anything Microsoft has ever done. But I tend to stick with what I know. I learn what I need to learn, and let's face it, none of us are rich. I'm certainly not, so I can't have all the toys I'd like to have. Because I do like my toys. I got unfortunately, yeah, I've gone from being a bachelor to being a family man again. And the whole of my front room was my playroom. I've now been compacted, shall we say, into a corner. Yeah, I've got my own special corner. You'll have to excuse me. I've got a bit of a cough and a cold at the moment. So yeah, I'm now compact, and it's my workspace for my repairs, my things to do on a rainy day. I have to keep busy. If I've not got something to focus on, I will pace. I will do a dozen things every single day and not finish one of them completely, because I'll be jumping from one task to another to another to another. But the thing is, these tasks don't mean anything. I'll do the important things in between, but it's just little things, 5 minutes here and there to keep my mind busy. I do have a very short attention span. So if I tend to drift off, that's why. I mean, it's a podcast. It's not all about me, it's all about you. Now I've been given 3 questions, so this one can't be all about you, because I've only got 3 of you here. I say 3 of you here, well, we've had the 2 so far. This last one has come from Neil from Oxford. Now, he says he's having problem installing Windows 7 from Windows Vista Premium. When he runs the application to install it, he selects his hard drive and it comes up with an exception error and then cancels the installation. Now, he's got all the updates, he's done everything he needs. Now, by the sounds of that, my friend, that could be a fact that you're trying to upgrade. You may not have the hard drive space, because what Vista will do, unless you tell it otherwise, by doing a fresh install of 7, you put the disk in, you boot from the disk. You don't let it load into Vista and then do it that way. You do it straight after the BIOS. You boot from disk, you load it that way, because otherwise what it will do, it will try, or it won't try, it will back up your computer as it is. So you have whatever installed, saved, floating around in Vista that you have ever installed. Yeah, what it'll do is it'll create a folder and have a mirror, or basically your hard drive as you see it before installation will then be compressed into this folder. I say compressed, it's not, unfortunately. It is exactly the same size as it was before the installation. So not only are you trying to install Windows 7, which will then you'll install all your other bits onto, but you'll have a complete copy of Vista. Now, okay, yes, it gives you a backup to revert to, but do you really need all the programs saved and this, that and the other? If you don't need it, best thing to do, get yourself an external hard drive or a couple of blank disks, save everything you've got on that computer that you want to keep, right? It won't take that long, and for the price of a pack of DVDs, usually covers what most people want to keep, because there's a hell of a lot of rubbish on most people's PCs. I know this because I've got so much rubbish on my PC. I delete off a couple of gigs worth every day, and yet I've still got more and 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 more. So back it all up, put the disk in, reboot your computer and boot from the disk. Now, it should be in your BIOS settings that it's set to boot from disk regardless. If not, most computers use F10. Just tap F10, it'll pull up how you want to load up your computer, do it that way. That way you can tell it to just blow it away. You do a format of a hard drive, there's nothing on there, because it does sound like a space issue. It doesn't. If it's not a space issue, then it could mean a conflict with the drivers. You might need to have certain drivers for your hard drive. Now, if you never needed these for Vista, you shouldn't technically need them for 7, because 7 is so much better with the SATA drivers than Vista could ever be. Apart from popping the PC open, giving it a clean, which we all need to do every now and again. I'm as guilty as the rest. I tell people to keep their computers clean, because most of the time they'll bring me their computers and say it stopped working. I'll open it up and I've emptied Hoover bags with less dust and dirt in than these things have got. They're like, I'll show it to them, and I was like, and you wonder why it's not working. You know, they're lucky you haven't started a house fire. But we're all as guilty. If you can pop it open, just double check everything's seated correctly, everything's connected properly. That's if you know what you're doing. Because PCs aren't rocket science, and that's the biggest thing. People are scared to play with their PC. And let's face it, there's not an awful lot you can do to knacker your PC. To stop your PC from working, you would have to go into screens that, it's simple. You will either know what you're doing which is why you've gone into this window and opened up this, that and the other. But if you don't know what you're doing, you know not to click anything, because you don't know what it'll do. But then that's what the help is for. Yeah, it's not always the best, but a bit of common sense never hurt anybody. If you really have to do something and you don't know how to do it, you've done exactly the right thing. You're getting in touch with us. You're letting us deal with your problem. Now, it's not the same as us sitting there going click, 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 job done, all your problems solved. Because we can do that. There's millions of people out there that can do that, but they'll charge you a fortune for it. We'll try and just tell you as it is. If we know, great. If we say something and we're wrong, you've worked it out a different way, and I tell you what, tell us. We can't be right all the time. Nobody can be. But if we're wrong and nobody tells us, what are we supposed to do about it? Because I know in real life, if I'm wrong, I like to be told. I apologise for my mistakes. And I like to correct other people. Not because I'm a smart ass, but because people have the right to know that what they think is wrong. It's one of those, you just roll with it. If you can't be honest with your friends, with your family, with your neighbours, why are they friends and family? Okay, if they're neighbours, there's fuck all you can do about that apart from leave the neighbourhood. But, and I do apologise, I just cussed then. I got to remember. So, yeah, there's, you got to be, truth. It's the easiest way to earn respect from anybody. Okay, don't get me wrong, depends on what you're telling the truth about. There are certain occasions where little white lies work better. It just saves an awful lot of grief in the long run. But it seems as we're going to be doing a little bit of this, that and the other. Now, we're going to be trying to cover some other local bands. Now, we need people to get in touch. We don't know if you don't tell us. We can't big you up. We can't give you a shout out. We can't make it large if we don't know about you. Right? Give us if you want to be a DJ, a producer, if you want people to come and see something that you're doing at a certain time at a certain place. Not everybody sees flyers. Not everybody goes to the places where you are advertising. So, how are they going to know about it? Tell us. Send us an MP3. Send us a soundbite telling us who you are, what you're all about, and why people should enjoy your music. Whether it's punk, whether it's ska, whether it's metal, dance, techno, orchestral. Let us know. You know, there might be somebody around the world listening to this that actually picks up their ears and goes, hang on a minute. There's a local boy there with some talent. Let's put that talent to good use. Let us get the word out. We're getting people downloading us from all over the world. So, let us, or give us a chance to give you a chance. There you go. Bands start taking off, getting big. Great. You heard them here first, boys and girls. We'll do interviews. We'll try doing this, that and the other. We'll give you little bits of advice on PC health. Maybe look at the best free shareware and freeware out there. Why not? We've all got our guilty pleasures. Let us know what yours are. What do you want to hear about? What are we supposed to be doing to make you tell people to come and listen to us? Yes, we are covering PC problems, covering a bit of music, and that's primarily what we do. If we can help you out with other little things that are semi-related, let us know. If you don't ask, we can't answer it. Make us laugh, make us smile, listen to some tunes, Relax a while. Ha! Look, the man's a poet, he don't even know it. Ha! Yeah, alright, shut up. But anyway, we'll see how this goes. So, for now, I'm just going to leave you with a little bit of music. I'm not too sure how this is coming out, so this might just be another test run. But, till next time, chat you later, and smile. Doesn't hurt, you know.